Good evening and welcome to Back Nine Breakdown of Round 2 at the Players' Championship. Play has been suspended because Florida and lightning and stuff. The PM wave is still out on the course and will resume play in the morning. We don't know anything about the weather here, as play was never in jeopardy this evening. But it sure looks like the PM golfers will get easier conditions tomorrow morning. But again, we don't know shit about the weather. The lovely folks at datagolf.com have a +2 cut at 67% probability with a +1 potential, little more likely than 33% given the soft, less breezy conditions golfers in round 2 will see tomorrow morning. Adam Svensson leads the way so far through 14 holes. He's doing that thing again where he gains 6 strokes short game through just 25 holes. The ball striking is still gaining, but the chipping and putting is definitely doing the heavy lifting so far. He'll be $6,900 for round 3, which will be swarmed by DFS players around the world like a flea market flash sale. He suits this golf course far too well to be priced there, especially playing the way he is. Christian Bezuidenhout is steadily plodding along at the top of the leaderboard too, having gained 5.2 strokes on approach so far. He's got 4 holes left to go in his round, and his $6,700 is extremely appealing for the 3-time DP World Tour winner and fellow South African, who I did beat in match play in high school. Those were the days. Although this program has a Morikawa outright, we are still rooting for our boy to bring it home, which is in Jacksonville now. Colin Morikawa has gained 2.5 strokes on approach through just 11 holes this round, but he has resorted back to missing too many of the birdie putts he affords himself, losing about 2.5 strokes in the short game department, leaving 25% of the people we rostered him as the 2-time major champion rather disappointed. Morikawa not having to battle this afternoon's wins for half his second round is what the kids call California clutch, as he will be able to fire up the target golf machine in some moist, receptive, calm conditions tomorrow morning. Allegedly, as my producer just informed me that we don't know shit about the weather, which I still agree with. Ben Griffin in T3 as well played flawlessly golf today until he doubled 18. He shot 71, which left him at -6, which is currently good enough for a T3, as we've just mentioned. Horrible riding on my part. He'll be a popular play at $7,400 for round 3. Minwoo Lee is rocking the pencil stash and penciling down birdies, enough to get to -2 through 11 holes. He's sitting in a tie for third, and his ball striking gains have come off the tee only, losing a stroke on approach so far. He's gained almost 6 strokes chipping, and he's putting brilliantly through 29 holes. At $7,100, he too will be a popular play, ranking 57th in round 3 scoring. Scotty Scheffler, world number 2, is frequenting the top of the leaderboard while continuing to roll bricks with the putter. It's his calling card, folks. It is. T10, as the most mediocre putter on tour, is something he does regularly. If he does get the flat stick firing tomorrow, this tournament is all but over. He'll be $10,600 in round 3, and after seeing 30% ownership in round 2, he'll likely be the only 10K golfer to make the cut, if he does make the cut with 5 holes to go, as Rory McIlroy is +6 right now. Taylor Pendrith in T8 has hit every fairway yesterday, and he's continuing to play good golf. He has done this stuff around the TPC torture chamber, which is something he's never really proceeded to. I'm just talking a whole bunch of rubbish. He's playing good golf. -4, T8. That's all you need to know about Taylor Pendrith, who will be maybe 16% owned tomorrow if he continues to play this good golf. Victor Hovland was the highest owned golfer in some of the Showdown contests and was bouncing balls off wooden planks around the 17th green, still managing to hold the green, only to take the good fortune of the golf gods gifted him with a 39 on the second 9. Hovland has averaged 2.5 strokes on approach, but so far continues to take short game lessons with our weather department, as he doesn't know shit about chipping. $9,400 tomorrow, and we could expect that 30% ownership we saw today to potentially stick around in round 3. Adam Hadwin was bouncing balls off mogul mounds to tap in range and now finds himself at T8. He is a familiar feaster at the TPC Sawgrass venue with a top 10 and a top 30 in his last 2 starts here. He's also very affordably priced at $7,300 with about 3% ownership today, which should see some inflation if he finishes strong in the morning. Jason Day has seen a $1,000 increase in price from his bargain bin $8,000 price tag. The DraftKings Chalk Chasers set him for as a week-long contestant. He is currently scrambling his face off, gaining 5.2 strokes in the short game department. The driver has been misbehaving and has lost more strokes off the tee than 31 of the 32 golfers sitting T20 or better. Not good for the day man. Denny McCarthy at T8 has barely gained strokes putting so far, which he usually does. Denny hit an approach shot into the middle of the dam on 16, along with a few other poor shots on approach, but he's still managing to stay in contention with his driver and short game keeping him afloat. Denny will be priced at $7,500, which is an intriguing value, considering he's the 17th best round 3 scorer. He has shown he is capable of a few Saturday surges recently, which is never a bad thing. Benny on. Now that he's through hole 17 on his second round, where he recorded a 11 in 2021, 8 over par on a one hole. He fought off the demons today, and he's currently T8 after an eagle on the par 5 16th. Benny is a clean 7K. And speaking of 11, he's the 11th best birdie maker in the field, and we are playing a fantasy contest after all. He was 1% owned today and will most likely blow up tomorrow when we decide to play him in our player pools. Will Gordon is also T8 and had the round of the day, shooting -5 and gaining 49.2 points in the process, which is a massive increase on the -5.7 he scored in Showdown last Saturday at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. #golf. At $6,900 for round 3, he's the 29th best birdie maker in the field and has gained just shy of 5 strokes ball striking so far. Chad Ramey walked onto the 17th green with he didn't walk onto the green. He played the hole with a lead that was not big enough to survive the quadruple bogey he made. Using an entire sleeve of golf balls to hit 7 shots on a hole is never good. He's currently T8 with 8 holes still to play. A break may not be the worst thing for the $7,100 golfer who was 6% owned today. Sam Burns is managing to sneak around the golf course despite struggling on approach by his standards, losing 3/4 of strokes with his irons so far. We know he's a fantastic putter and holds the 9th best birdie rate and 10th best round 3 scoring average in the field. When he makes the weekend, he seems to play well, and his $7,800 price tag is brought to you by the Chalk Chasers, a group of DraftKings delinquents who set pricing fence. Aaron Rai is ball striking this course to death, having gained 4.5 in that department through his 2 completed rounds. He is unfortunately one of the worst birdie makers in the field at 103rd. Brendan Todd is plodding his way around TPC Sawgrass, gaining in all 4 departments, and will look to continue to plod along from here. Another golfer at T20 who is less than $7,500. He has 5 holes still to wrap up in the morning and could remain under most people's radar at 1% owned. Gary Woodland. If this man could putt, folks, he would be so good. Sitting in a tie for 20th, losing 4.3 strokes on the greens. This is not a shock, however, as he does this week in and week out. Not sure how losing that many strokes putting has his caddies out of the hospital, because he should have a stroke after what the heck is going on. We're going to move on to Wyndham Clark, who is hitting his irons even worse than Burns, losing 2.2 strokes on approach through his first 2 rounds. He has, however, gained 4 strokes on and around the greens, which will take care of a few poor approach shots that Clark will hope to clean up over the weekend at $7,100 at T20. Patrick Cantley is the world number 4 and a top 30 putter last season. However, he putted a ball into the water today. Yes, that is correct. We can confirm that Patrick Cantley did indeed putt a ball off the green into the water. He's still out on the golf course. Lucas Glover has been chipping his way to a made cut this week, gaining 2.5 strokes around the greens while barely gaining in any of the other areas. He is a steady Eddie and will be $6,100 going forward. Look for him to bounce back on the ball striking front at $6,100, which is rather cheap for a guy that's pretty much useless in round 3, though. Max Homa is the highest graded golfer in our power rankings for those that have completed their 2 rounds and sit at +1 or better. The cut may be +2, it may be +1. He is $9,800 and has been dead neutral with the putter through 2 rounds, which is unlike the golfer who entered the Arnold Palmer Invitational as the best putter over the last 24 rounds. If you can get the flat stick fired up, look out for Max Homa this week. Cameron Young has completed 2 rounds at even par and has been gaining steadily on approach so far. He's driving in around the green play, could get a little bit better, but as the 5th best birdie maker in the field, his $8,600 price tag is ultra appetizing for a man with explosive diarrhea. How did John Rahm's write-up get in there? Oh, I guess the world number one had to withdraw from this event with a stomach bug. Sources close to the matter believe it's due to the giant horseshoe he had shoved up his ass over the last few weeks of phenomenally lucky rounds, followed by lucky round, followed by lucky round. It's time to get that thing out, John, and live a healthy lifestyle. Jordan Spieth, T39, made an eagle on his final hole that got an assist from the fan's shin bone and a cart path, while his putter remained on the bench the entire hole. He chipped one in for eagle to get to level par and make the cut. He will have to restock his pocket with magic bean dust, using all of that today, per usual. Will Zalatoris shot -1 today to make the cut at +1. If you're looking for the third best round 3 scorer in the field, well, this string ball striker is your guy. The putter has been rebellious so far, which could change tomorrow. And at $8,800, we could see Willie Z sizzle irons and steam up that leaderboard over the weekend. Worth a gamble after coming in at only 13% today, despite being in the AM wave, which saw more condensed ownership in round 2. Xander Schauffele made his first cut at the Players since his T2 in his inaugural start in 2018. He did so gaining over 6 strokes short game, which seems a little unsustainable. But he made the cut, so let's surge up that leaderboard tomorrow, X-Man. $9,100 will be the going rate for a golfer who has lost over 4 strikes ball striking. 4 strikes ball striking. If you feel like rolling the dice, Xander is the 10th best birdie maker in the field. Sahith Theegala refuses to make putts, crushing it off the tee, crushing it on approach, and crushing it around the greens, but losing 3 strokes putting so far. The man is due for a round of the ages if he can revert back to the putter he was before he pegged it up in Jacksonville this week. $8,500 for one of the best ball strikers and wedge players in the field seems reasonable. How many of the 25% of depressed DFSs will continue to hope he sinks a few more putts tomorrow? Taylor Moore is the 26th best round 3 scorer in the field and makes birdies at a field average. He has made the cut after a 75 this morning, apparently taking too many shots around the green. He has been hitting irons well and making enough putts to have snuck into the weekend at +1. He is $6,700 and will most likely go under-owned again tomorrow. Maverick McNeely returned back from an injury as a result of his sole getting crushed after putting his ball into the water at Phoenix a few weeks ago. On a more serious note, he did have a shoulder injury, which seems to have fixed itself as he made the cut, having completed his 2 rounds, gaining 5 strokes putting, which can easily continue as he is one of the best putters on tour. If his irons heat up, we can expect Mav to continue to make his fair share birdies. That has him as the 22nd best birdie maker in the field. Sam Ryder made the cut on the number despite stinking it up with his irons. He has had a really good iron game and is 49th in birdie or better rates. He will be $6,500 and barely owned. He is capable of going nuclear on any given day. Max McGreevy shot a casual 89 today, birdieing the final hole to avoid the dreaded 90s club. And that today concludes the Back Nine Breakdown, folks. Thanks for tuning in.